Welcome everybody. So today I want to show you how to add on some decoration onto the outside. So today I want to show you how to make like a series of ridges. So first off, you want to make sure when you're doing this that you're leaving the lip kind of alone, because you want to make sure that this area right here is going to be strong enough that we can pull it off the mold in a little bit. So for me, I usually leave at least like 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to be doing a series of ridges. So I'm going to start with creating the ridge by my lip. So I'm just using the back end of my loop tool to create that. You could use a pencil, you could use a loop tool. I'm just kind of shoving the clay out of the way a little bit, but I want to leave myself a nice strong lip. Now I want to go through and I want to add in a bunch of these. So I'm just going to hold my tool kind of there. Now, if some sides it seems like it's not pushing in as much as others, that's probably because it's slightly not quite centered. So if you're pushing really hard, sometimes that could happen. If it wasn't quite centered to begin with, that can happen too. It just really kind of depends, and you can fix it at the end or you can fix it now. It's kind of up to you. But I'm just going to go ahead and finish adding in all my lines. So I'm kind of creating the areas that I want there to be a ridge in my bowl, because I think it looks really cool when you glaze it to have the glaze flow over. Okay, so now that I have that, you can see that there's little clay boogies and stuff all over the place. So if you do this when it's slightly a little bit more leather hard, it's a good idea to do it when it's a little bit leather hard. So if you have any like big funky spots, I would pull them off now. But if it's just like little crumbs, we can fix those up in a little bit. So once you have all your lines in there, that's when you got to decide, like, how do you want to finish this off? Do you want it to be nice and soft? Do you want them to be like really sharp on the edges, or just like a clean, crisp cut? We definitely don't want sharp things, because we don't want to give people bowls that are going to cut them, because that would be a bummer. So if you are going to do softer edges, I would try to get as many of the clay boogies off as you kind of can right now, or like I said, do it when it's slightly more leather hard. But once you got most of the clay boogies off, then you can use a clean damp sponge and we can just lightly go over the ridges and just soften those edges just a little bit. If you've got tiny clay boogies, this will get rid of tiny clay boogies. It's just the big ones that you want to be careful of. So let's take a look and see how that looks. Yeah, so that right there, if I leave it like this, because of how I constructed that and how I did this, since I was using this tool doesn't carve those lines, it pushes the clay out of the way. And the reason why I did that is because I kind of like how this edge and that edge kind of adds a little bit of interest. Now, if I wanted there not to be a clear edge right here, I could have just used my loop tool and like literally took the clay away, and that would make it less ridgy. But I think this looks really cool, and I think it's going to be amazing when it's glazed. So give it a try. There's all kinds of different things you can do once you have this basic. You can add in other textures. You can go in different directions. It's entirely up to you. Thanks, everybody.